President Trump today met in the Oval Office, number 16, please. Caroline, his press secretary, tweeted this out. He met with some of the released hostages in the Oval. You can see there a very nice picture. President Trump took time to meet with 8 of the released hostages. The president listened intently to their heartbreaking stories. The hostages thanked the president for his steadfast efforts to bring all the hostages home. Very upbeat, very good, very life affirming. And then the president also did this. I don't know if he did this before or after the meeting. Number 15, on Truth Social. This is just a classic Trump post. Here we go. I'm going to make this one super big so I can see it. Shalom Hamas means hello and goodbye. You can choose. Release all the hostages now, not later, and immediately return all the dead bodies of the people you murdered, or it is over for you. Only sick and twisted people keep bodies, and you are sick and twisted! Exclamation point. I'm sending Israel everything it needs to finish the job. Not a single Hamas member will be safe if you don't do as I say. I've just met with your former hostages whose lives you have destroyed. So this was after. This is your last warning! Exclamation point for the leadership. Now is the time to leave Gaza while you still have a chance. Also to the people of Gaza, a beautiful future awaits, but not if you hold hostages. If you do, you are dead. Make a smart decision. Release the hostages now, or there will be hell to pay later. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Now, there might be mixed feelings in some quarters about this tweet or this posting on Truth Social, but our next correspondent loves what the president did. And he loves it so much, he's willing to overlook, at least for the moment, some of his other reservations about Donald J. Trump. John Podhoretz, our Middle East correspondent, at least for now. What do you make of what the president did today, and why is it significant?
I was interested to note last night that a lot of people who are focused on this issue to the exclusion of all else were shocked and disappointed at how little attention was given to the hostages in the speech, because we had heard it had been advanced. They were in the balcony. Congress members had invited them to sit there, and that it seemed like a moment when the president would highlight this issue, talk about what he had done so far to help get the hostages out, talk a little about Steve Witkoff and his negotiating strategy, and he basically said, we did the Abraham Accords, we want the hostages out, and then he moved on. So through the day, in the sort of Israel hawk community, shall we say, there was a lot of stress because the early indications were that Witkoff was pressing Israel to negotiate directly with Hamas. And the Prime Minister's office sent out a little statement saying, we have expressed our opinion regarding negotiations with Hamas. That was all they said. In other words, they said, no, we're not negotiating directly with Hamas. We're at war with Hamas. We're doing no negotiating, which of course kind of violates the current Trump posture toward Ukraine, which is you negotiate with your enemies. Okay, so that's what happened. And so there was nervousness that Trump might go the way of Ukraine, that maybe Witkoff would say, you got to talk to Hamas. Then he would get mad at Israel for not talking to Hamas. And then Trump had this session in the Oval Office with eight of the freed hostages. And this statement is a time bomb, landmine, earthquake, because right now what it presents to the government of Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu is the possibility to put a clock on what we just heard Trump say. Trump said, everybody out, including the dead bodies.
Right now.
Israel everything it needs. Israel is in a very weird place where this goes, which is they want all the hostages out and they want to destroy Hamas. And Bibi, more than anybody else, wants to do both and is concerned that both can't be done. So Trump has now given him the following prospect, I believe, which is he can come out tomorrow and say, you have 72 hours or you have 96 hours. We're calling up our reserves. We've got our battle plan in place. We have a green light from the United States. We know that people are being tortured in there. Let them out. And then talks will begin about how you can save your lives, you members of Hamas, how you can somehow
So,
get
so
out of there
yeah.
alive.
So am I right?
Otherwise, yeah, okay.
Am I right? Thank you for that. Am I right that basically with one social media post, Donald Trump changed the terms of the deal?
No, because there was no deal, right? The situation was that the first phase of the three-phase deal ended last Saturday. 6 weeks, 42 days, hostages released. It was time for the terms of the second phase to be negotiated. What was
Well,
in the second phase was
well,
theoretically that Israel was supposed to pull out of Gaza, and then they would start talking about hostages, and Hamas went silent. And Witkoff, and there it wasn't really a deal. That was all predicated on things sort of moving in some positive
all
direction.
right. So
Okay.
he didn't change it so much as he's now determined the second phase unilaterally. How about that?
Yes. What he's saying is if Israel decides to blow up Gaza, the United States will
Will
stand
help.
by it. And
Will,
an important proviso there is he says to Gazans,
yeah,
ordinary Gazans, a beautiful life awaits you,
yeah,
but not if you hold hostages. Now, that's a reference to the fact that, as we now know, the Bibas family and various other hostages were not being held by Hamas specifically. They were being held or are being held in apartments or in
yeah.
private homes
Right,
in Gaza by people who are using them as slaves and stuff like that.
right.
That was a direct message saying, you individual Gazans
Yeah,
better let the hostages out too,
right.
or you're going to be hunted down and killed.
Yeah. Hopefully they're on Truth Social. So,
Oh, they'll get
just they'll get the
they
message. They'll
they'll
get the
get the
message.
message.